All right, welcome back to the Portal Report Head Coach Showcase. I'm Riley Frain, a scout and recruiter with TPR, and today we're joined by another very special guest in Bucknell head coach John Griffin III. Thank you so much for coming on and giving us a bit of your time, Coach.
Riley, thanks for having me. It's a full circle moment for you and I.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
I'm
So for those who
thrilled
don't
to be
know,
on with you.
for those who don't know, Coach Griffin just recently took on the head coaching role at Bucknell, but before was an assistant coach at St. Joe's, where I was a student journalist. So I've had the pleasure of interviewing and speaking with Coach Griffin in the past before. But so let's get right into it there. I think that's kind of a good segue into my first few questions here. So just to kind of start us off, Coach, how are you doing? Have you had the opportunity to really settle in at your alma mater in Bucknell?
Yeah, I'm great, Riley. I'm great. It's been a hectic, chaotic first 3 months, but it's been a great opportunity for me to learn a little bit about where Bucknell's current state of the program currently sits as it relates to the Patriot League. I've done a lot of homework and research on the league and the competitive nature of the league right now, building out our roster, making sure that everyone's healthy, and then hiring a staff. And we have our student athletes are on campus in the summer, so making sure that the onboarding process was smooth, went well to the level at which I want it to be, and trying to find now opportunities to make some upgrades and modernizations and kind of put us in position from a aesthetic standpoint to recruit the best, retain our current roster, and be ready to go when we start our official practices.
So, Coach, before we really kind of dive into the basketball side of things, I wanted to, maybe talk more about the emotional side of you joining, your alma mater in Bucknell. So it was announced back in March that you'd be taking over as head coach. Really a school with some great basketball history, some of which, you've had the opportunity to be a part of. And obviously you spent some time there as an assistant as well. So what does this chance to really lead to now lead your alma mater really mean to you, Coach?
Yeah, I mean this is a truly special situation. My experience, my experience at Bucknell as an athlete, as a student, um, was memorable. So during my time there as a player, we went to the NCAA tournament. We beat Kansas. We beat Arkansas. We were ranked in the top 25. And on the surface, that may be something that people will refer back to as once in a lifetime, which it was. But the relationships that I built here at Bucknell truly have been lifelong. They've changed my life for the better. And to come back to a community that has embraced me for 8 years of my life, Lewisburg has always been a proud and loyal supporter of the community itself, of Bucknell basketball. An example of that would be when we beat Kansas, we came back, and, in Philadelphia, we win a championship, and everywhere now in the country, win a championship, you have a parade. And we had a parade in Lewisburg. We rode on fire trucks all through the town. And so my connection to Lewisburg and the campus at Bucknell is strong. I've built really amazing relationships during my 8 years. And I'm really proud to be back here leading the program because I have expectations to where the program should be as it relates to the Patriot League. And, I'm super excited to just kind of reignite, I guess, the energy levels of Lewisburg and on-campus community. But it is special, man. It is very special. I have three children, three boys, two of which were born at Geisinger Hospital, which is right up the road. My wife, when I was an assistant at Bucknell prior to getting to St. Joe's, was the head varsity girls lacrosse coach at Lewisburg High School. So, there's a lot of amazing connections that make this a truly special and dream come true situation. But for me personally, I mean, this program changed my life. And so my job now, along with the staff that I've hired, is to make sure that we're doing everything in our power within the parameters of what we can do to change the lives that are in our locker room on a daily basis, and ultimately give them a chance to have the best experience similar to mine.
Coach, so you talked, a ton really there about the relationships you've built in your time, not only at Bucknell, but as a college basketball coach in general. And I think, your staff here that you've assembled this offseason really epitomizes that, between your brother, Matt Griffin, who's joining, Coach McDonald joining from Northern Illinois, Coach Flannery, Mike Wally as your DBL, and, even more guys on the staff. So I want to know, what are some of the things you think you've learned in your first few months as head coach here? And, talk to me a little bit about this staff as well. What can we expect from you guys throughout the season coaching wise?
Yeah. So as you mentioned, relationships are really important to me. I've grown up. I was the son of a coach. I witnessed firsthand how impactful uh, legitimate relationships are in life. And so, yeah, this was an opportunity for me to combine a group of people um, that live a similar lifestyle to myself. With my brother, his energy levels are through the roof, but he has a history of building and cultivating relationships um, in his past that are truly amazing. So he was at Roman, and he did a great job as the head coach. And then he went on and started his collegiate career as an assistant at Albany, and most recently at Florida Gulf Coast. And then, joining me, I know that every day he's going to bring a certain level of energy and passion to the program that will be contagious within the locker room. And that's really important to me. The same goes for Jesse Flannery and Brandon McDonald. I played for Jesse Flannery's father. Jesse Flannery's from Lewisburg, and he knows Bucknell when it was at its best. So he's going to recruit. He's going to live. He's going to, go throughout the community with a certain level of excitement that aligns with my experience. And along with that, his experience as a coach it's like a perfect fit. He was at BCU and he was with Mike Rhodes. Mike Rhodes also played for Pat Flannery, but at BCU, they run a high major program, and so his work rate is exceptional. Then he was at West Point and Amherst, so he knows how to recruit. So I have these two guys on our staff that energy wise and relationship wise that just match perfectly with me. And then you have Brandon McDonald, who has over 10 years of experience. He's from the DMV, which is a hotbed for high school recruiting. At St. Joe's, we did very well in the DMV. Our best players at St. Joe's, from a production standpoint, came from the DMV. And Brandon is he's an underrated college basketball coach. I'm thrilled that he stayed. He had a couple of opportunities to go elsewhere, and then along with him is Mike Wally. Mike Wally was with me at St. Joe's, and he knows how I want to run the program on a day-to-day basis. We're going to do a lot of similar things that we did at St. Joe's, and his position, he's more or less in the weeds every day with the players, and his job is to make sure that we're operating at our highest level, effectively, efficiently, and making sure that our student athletes get the best opportunity to be successful. So I'm really thrilled. Our staff has an amazing work rate. They have amazing energy, and I think that they'll continue to build the relationships that we've already started. And ultimately, it's not rocket science. You need good people, and we're a family-oriented staff. Multiple kids. Brandon has kids. I have children, and we want to make sure that we're passing on the right message to our program, to our student athletes.
Mm-hmm. So now I want to, get into discussing some of the student athletes you guys have added, this offseason. And so first up, I want to talk about Quinn Berger, a guy who followed you over from St. Joe's and somebody who I've seen play a bit during his time as a Hawk, but I think, due to limited minutes, fans really aren't too familiar with this game. So I know he's a Pennsylvania native as well, coach, as somebody who's, as somebody who's been around Quinn for a couple seasons now. What excites you about his commitment, and what do you see him adding to this Bucknell roster?
So Quinn was actually only with us for 1 year. So he did his freshman year at St. Joe's. He's from Westtown. He's a son of a coach. Westtown is a widely recognized, very competitive, high-level high school basketball program. His father's the head coach there. Quinn's going to bring a level of competitiveness that will set the tone for the program. He's a high IQ player. He's tough as nails. And we're just going to rely on the fact that he's been through a college season at a high major, what we consider at St. Joe's a high major level. So the work rate and the commitment that's required to be successful in college basketball, that's what he knows. And that's what he'll bring to our locker room. On top of that, from a skill standpoint, we're going to take a lot of threes. And he's widely recognized as a guy that can shoot quickly and be efficient. And we're going to use that ability of letting it fly more or less. And hopefully he can be an immediate impact guy.
And so next up, you added, a really intriguing Division II piece in Pip Ajayi, who joins from
Yep.
another local Pennsylvania program in Mercyhurst. And so for those who aren't yet familiar, he's a 6'7" big man who averaged 6.3 points per game and 7 rebounds per game, and adds a really strong defensive presence to your lineup. But I'm curious about some of the intricacies of recruiting at the D2 level versus D1. So what was your relationship like with Pip prior to Bucknell, if anything, and how do you see his game really translating to the top tier of college basketball, coach?
Well, so Pitt was recruited during the COVID wave, and a lot of these student athletes that were recruited during the time of the pandemic, they didn't get the same opportunity that high school players are getting now in terms of in-person exposure. So he was probably under-recruited because nobody was able to see him play in person. He ends up going to Mercyhurst. Last season, Mercyhurst was 25-6, and you just mentioned his stats. And what we've quickly learned is he is diligent, hardworking, and has a competitive attitude about each possession that kind of fits perfectly with our roster. And right now, Division II players are having some pretty legitimate success in Division I, and it's most notable by Pat Kelsey at College of Charleston. He's almost become this infamous recruiter of Division II and Division III players that have great success at Division I level. So we were scouring the portal for the right fit for our roster based on what we've seen on film, because I didn't get to work with the players for very long. So we were looking for the right fit. And Pip's defensive stats pop off the page. So he blocked 45 shots, which is an amazing number for a player of his size. And he had 89 offensive rebounds. I mean, those are two significant numbers, because those numbers in the world of coaching are attached to effort. Now, there's no scheme that can allow him to attain those type of statistics. So as soon as we saw those numbers, we were all in. And he's an amazing human being, comes from amazing families from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And he just provides maturity, but also a defensive presence that will have an immediate impact. So we had two guys that fit with us culturally, at least with me, with what I'm going to be preaching on a daily basis. And I couldn't be more excited to have them in our program.
All right. So, Coach Griffin, thank you, so much again for hopping on the show this morning, giving us a bit of your time. And so with this last question, I really want to give you the floor. You've been involved in Bucknell athletics for years now, and with this opportunity to come back as head coach, I think it's fair to say that there's a lot of excitement around Bison basketball at the moment. So with the season now, just a few months away and off-season workouts surely underway, as you mentioned, what's your message to the Bucknell fans and community to, really get them excited for the 2023-24 season?
That's nice, Riley. Setting me up, man. I appreciate it. I mean, the message is really we're going to need everybody on board. That's the message. So I know what Bucknell basketball looks like and feels like when it's at its best. Sawyer Pavilion, which is our home court arena, when it's sold out, it's one of the best mid-major college basketball venues in the country. And it's one of the toughest places to play. And so right now, what I'm promoting internally is a level of competitiveness that the alumni, the student body, the faculty, and the community can be very proud of. And then, we're going to be very aggressive. It's going to be a confident group of student athletes that are going to take every opportunity to get wins. And right now, it's just about re-engaging the community. Our community is so special to our success, and I'm fired up about where we are right now in our early stages as a program. And last weekend there was a July 4th parade in Lewisburg. They do it a week earlier. Our players were out there holding babies, taking pictures. But this program is so connected to the community. I mean, yeah, there's Penn State football, which is about an hour and 10 minutes up the road. And then you have Bucknell basketball. And we want to be one of the premier events that people within 50 to 75 miles think it would be a great opportunity to bring their families or friends or season ticket holders. They just know what they're going to get when they come into Soika. And so that's what we're working towards right now. And it's going well so far. I think that our student athletes are really trying to grab a little bit onto the competitiveness of myself and our staff, and their energy's been amazing. So that's all I can ask for. We're a process-oriented program, and that's what we were at St. Joe's. We didn't really worry about the results. The results will come if the process aligns itself with what everyone's looking to achieve. So in Philly, we say trust the process. In Lewisburg, we're doing the same.
All right, Coach John Griffin III. Coach, just again, we appreciate you coming on. Thank you so much.
Riley, I appreciate it, man. Good luck.
Thank you.